to reach out to our caller because he was having some problems calling in. So I'm going to call him directly right now. Hang on as I kind of get this ready, and let me get the phone number in there. Oh, yeah, it's the first time I've done this, so.
This is Chuck.
Okay.
Okay. Well, something's working out. Chuck Heath, Jr., thank you so much for being part of Grizzly Fest, and we're glad you could join us today. How are you doing up there?
We're trying to stay warm. Winter's coming.
How cold is it?
Well, I talked to Sarah this morning, and she said it was about 20 at her house, and the wind was blowing, and she was out chopping wood while I was talking to her.
She was chopping wood. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we got some Halloween snow here in Pennsylvania as well. So I guess everybody's getting some global warming. But hey, Chuck, thanks so much for taking time out. Today's all about political activism and staying active and making a difference. And I wanted to just talk to you about your political activism because we know you were out on the campaign trail last year during the midterms and as well as when Governor Palin was running for vice president. But do you enjoy campaigning?
Yeah, it's really nice to get out there and just mingle with kind of like-minded people, good conservatives, and you know, people have been so warm and welcoming wherever we've gone, you know, no matter what part of the country we've been in, and it's just been a great experience for me and for my dad and the rest of the family too.
And what sort of candidates do you look to endorse? I know, and how do you make that decision to go campaign for someone? You campaigned for how many folks last year? I know there were some in Alabama, and then Danny Tarkanian in Nevada. How do you make that choice?
Well, with for instance, Danny Tarkanian, first of all, he was running against Harry Reid, so I was already attracted to whoever was going to run against Reid.
Right.
And during the 2008 campaign, I was traveling through Nevada and working at some of the campaign offices, and I stopped by the Henderson, Nevada office, which is right outside of Las Vegas, and Danny was working the phones alongside his dad, Jerry Tarkanian, and I, you know, he's a legend in our family because we're big basketball followers.
Yeah.
So we started talking to him, and I got his autograph. It was a huge deal for them to meet Sarah's family, but I think it was a bigger deal for us to meet the Tarkanians. So anyway, we bantered back and forth and took a few pictures, and I thought that was it. And about a year later, I get a call, and I hear that Danny is, you know, going or making a run against Harry Reid for the Senate. So I think I called him and asked him if there was anything I could do, because I knew how much he had worked for Sarah, and I also knew, you know, his core values. He's a small businessman, and he wants government out of his business, and he has a real strong conservative core. And anyway, one thing led to another, and that's how I got involved.
Oh, well, you know, do you actually enjoy being part of politics, and have you always been interested in politics? Well,
you know, I've followed politics most of my life. Through high school, you know, I went to Boys State. I was our high school delegate for that. And in college, I attended the Western Young Republicans Convention, and I think that was in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and I kind of got more and more exposed to it that way. But as far as entering the fray to myself, I was much too shy. I didn't want to get up and speak in front of people, but I enjoy helping people behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, you know, and it's interesting because everybody always talks about how Governor Palin was shy during high school, and now look at her. Does that surprise you that she's you know, come on like she has, just to make such a powerful influence in politics?
Yeah, it really does, and it all started back when she entered her first beauty pageant, actually. At least that's what I remember. And I remember talking to her about it, and I couldn't believe she was going to do something like that. expose herself and get up in front of all these people and play her instrument and walk in her swimsuit and make a speech. And because nobody in our family was like that, was extroverted enough, and I teased her about it a little bit, but she kind of let me know right away that, hey, I'm doing this for a reason. I'm going to get a college scholarship out of this, and she did.
Right.
But I think that really, gave her a little bit of confidence speaking in front of a group, and that kind of snowballed into what's happened now.
Yeah. Well, hey, what kind of role do you think you'll play in the election for next year? Are you going to get out on the campaign trail? And of course, everyone wants to know: are you going to try to? You think you can convince Governor Palin to change her mind?
I can't convince Sarah of anything. I haven't been able to convince her of anything my whole life. But I definitely will work on her. I understand the reasons that she had for not running, but I look at the other choices, and it was painful for me too. I honestly, not just because she's my sister, I really strongly felt she was the best candidate out there. So I'll keep working on her.
That's good. We have a promise. So. Yeah, okay. I know there's a lot of people hoping for that, but what we hope to do with Grizzly Fest is convince people that there's still just so much at stake, and that we can all make a difference. Do you think you'll be out on the campaign trail this time around, or are you still you're teaching, right? So you're working full time.
Well, I'm teaching, working full time doing that, and I'm also involved in a book project with my father, and We've got a deal going, and the book should hit the shelves in May. So I imagine we'll be out, doing some touring with that. And as a result of that, we will probably hit the campaign trail next fall too, maybe even earlier, and help people that we're able to.
Oh, good. Well, do you have a book title that we can look forward to that?
We haven't selected a title yet, and we're bouncing it back and forth off of each other right now. But I can tell you that it's going to be a book full of all of our Alaska experiences, and going back to my grandparents and even before then. And it should give everybody a really good perspective of the kind of influences that made Sarah what she is today. So we're pretty excited about that.
Well, that sounds great. Well, your books and your family have a good track record of success, so we wish you well with that. And thank you so much for calling in. Chuck Heath Jr.